We're ready here at 5:30.
You're up.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. First, got an introductory statement to read. Welcome to the Town of Lexington Board of Appearance meeting. This board is comprised of volunteer residents and or registered architects or building professionals. We are appointed by town council and we serve without pay. We are a legal board operating under the Comprehensive Planning Act of the state of South Carolina. Although this meeting may not seem as formal as a hearing in court, all statements must still be true, factual, and not made in a manner to mislead us. Board of Appearance meetings are streamed live on the town's YouTube channel, and minutes are taken and maintained as permanent records with the town. Under the Freedom of Information Act, a compliance public notification of this meeting was published, posted, and mailed in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act and the Town of Lexington requirements. Please understand that we must make our decisions within the parameters of state law. Should we make a decision that you believe is incorrect, you may appeal our decision to the circuit court within certain time limits provided by state law. In case that such an appeal is made, it is important that the circuit court who testified at this meeting. So please sign the sign-in sheet. First, got an introductory statement to read. Welcome to the Town of Lexington Board of Appearance meeting. Straight to our agenda. This board is comprised of volunteer residents and or registered architects or building professionals. We are appointed by town council.
I make a motion to approve.
We serve without pay. We are a legal board operating under the Comprehensive Planning Act of the state of South Carolina. So we'll go to our first item of new business, and that's as formal as a hearing in court. All statements must still be true, factual, and not made in a manner to mislead us. Board of Appearance meetings are streamed live on the town's YouTube channel. And
Thank you. I'm going
to
to shorten my comments because we've seen this project before a little bit.
Freedom of Information Act.
Mr. Craig Otto's
Compliance,
resubmitted a plan to
notification of this
construct a
meeting
new
was
courtyard
published,
hotel at
posted,
116
and
East
mailed
Main
in
Street.
compliance with the Freedom of
Staff committee
Information
reviewed
Act
this
and the Town of
proposal and
Lexington
noted a significant
requirements.
improvement over the
Please
previous
understand
submittal
that we
reviewed in
must make our
January.
decisions within the
Some of the
parameters
areas of
state
manual
law.
the board
Should
may
we
wish
make a
to
decision
consider
that you believe
are
is
listed
incorrect,
below.
May appeal our
Of course,
decision to the circuit
SG1,
court
we
within
always
certain
talk
time
about
limits
design new
provided by
development to be
state law.
compatible with the general
In case
physical
that such an
character
appeal
of
is
adjacent
made, it
neighborhood.
is important that the
Staff
side
committee
element
felt
go
that
ahead
this
and
test
call
blends
the
more
meetings to
appropriately
order.
with the style and
Please
character of the
sign
community,
First, got an introductory
including
statement
some of the
to
newer
read.
buildings such as the Lexington Town Hall,
Welcome to the Town
Lexington
of
County
Lexington
Courthouse,
Board
and the
of
renovated
Appearance
Lexington
meeting.
County
Our
Administration
agenda is
Building.
comprised of volunteer residents and or registered
SG2
architects or
says to
building
ensure that the
professionals.
structure is
We
not
are
such a
appointed
mass
by
that it
town
I'll make a
dominates the
motion to
surroundings or
approve.
adjacent
Without favor.
development.
We're a legal board operating under the
Staff
Comprehensive
committee noted that
Planning
Mr.
Act
Otto included some of the new design enhancements discussed previously intended to minimize the visual appearance of the building. It was also noted by the staff committee that the proposal is consistent with the mass of some of the other buildings in the area, and including the Lexington County Courthouse.
Thank you.
I'm going to shorten my comments and Lexington County Administration Building a little bit. SG6 says to create visual interest in the shadow plan to construct techniques courtyard but not limited to the use of offsetting planes with staff committee reviewed this proposal and noted a significant committee previously noted a concern about the lack of visual interest on the front. Some of the areas of manual side of the building may wish to address this concern by adding more windows to the east side. Of course, SG1 always talk about SG11 to provide lighting that is appropriate to the ground floor use and focuses on pedestrian areas. The staff committee felt that very little information about any exterior lighting and character of the community, and there was no information about parking lot lighting buildings such as Lexington Town Hall, Lexington County. Staff committee thought it might be a good idea for the parking lot lighting, if there is any. SG2 says to ensure that the structure is not such mass that it dominates the surroundings or adjacent on Main Street development. Then staff committee noted that Mr. Otto included some of the new design enhancements enclosure last discussed previously intended to minimize the visual screening to be constructed with materials that match the building and use black steel gauges is consistent with the maps of some of the other buildings in the area. That's what they're intending to do. Thank you. I'm going to shorten my comments as well as the transformer shown on the site plan. SG6 says to create visual interest in shadow plane with construction techniques but not limited to the use of offsetting planes with finally a landscape plan has not been submitted yet. The committee previously noted a concern about the lack of visual interest on the front. Some of the areas of manual side of the building may wish to try to address this concern by adding more windows to the east side. Of course, SG1, SG11 provide lighting that is appropriate to ground floor use and focuses on pedestrian areas. The staff committee felt there was very little information about any exterior lighting character of the community, and there was no information about parking lot lighting buildings such as may be provided.
I'm going to allow Mr. Raj Champagne and
The parking lot lighting, if there is any, two says to ensure structure match the deck such lighting on the faces surrounding or adjacently on Main Street development.
Good evening, my name is Raj
Staff
Champagne.
committee noted that Mr. Otto included some new design enhancements to closure.
I won't take a lot of time, but I wanted to
To minimize visual screening, we constructed some materials that also noted by the staff black steel gauges is consistent with the maps of some of the other buildings in the area. That's what they're intending to do. Thank you. I'm going to shorten my
Our first
as well
hotel
as
was in a
the
small town called
transformer shown on
Bamberg,
the site
South
plan.
Carolina.
SG6 says to create visual
Since then,
interest
we've
in shadow
developed
planes,
several
construction
hotels
techniques,
called
materials, but not limited to the use of offsetting planes with finally a landscape plan has not been
We're
submitted
very
yet.
strong
The
supporters
committee
of
previously noted a concern about the lack of visual interest on some of the areas of the manual side of the building.
Over the years,
Mr. Otto
we've been
addressed this
approached
concern
by
by adding more windows.
business leaders,
East side.
community
Of course,
leaders,
SG1
and the town
always talk about SG11 provide lighting that is appropriate to ground floor use and focuses on pedestrian areas. The staff committee felt there was very little information about any exterior lighting character of the community, and there was no information including parking lot lighting buildings such as may be provided.
I'm going to allow Mr. Raj Champagne
The parking lot lighting, if there is any, two match the deck such lighting on the faces surrounding or adjacently on Main Street development.
Good evening, my name is Raj Champagne.
Staff committee noted that Mr. Otto included some new design enhancements to closure.
I won't take a lot of time, but I wanted to
minimize visual screening to be constructed with materials that also noted by the staff black steel gauges
together.
the maps of some of the other buildings.
Create several jobs that will last
intending to do.
Most
Thank you. I'm
importantly,
going to shorten my
our first
comment
hotel was in a small town called Bamberg, other South Carolina.
SG6 is to create visual
Since then, we've
shadow
developed
planes,
several
techniques, materials, but not limited to the use of offsetting planes with
we
finally a
were
landscape plan has not been
We're
submitted
very
yet.
strong
The committee previously noted a concern about the lack of visual interest on some of the areas of manual side of the building.
Over the years,
Mr. Otto
we've been
addressed this
approached by
concern by adding more windows.
business leaders.
So I'm Craig Otto, I'm the architect for the project.
And the town is
SG11
A couple
provide
months ago, we made a couple of changes, just to remind everybody that the front of the building, the entry facade is directly on the street, on the sidewalk, Main Street, so the building is not set back in any way. It literally doesn't touch the sidewalk. Mr. Raj Champagne, right in line with all of the other buildings on Main Street. First, portion of the building is only 1 story tall. It's even shorter than the building next to it, so it creates
my name is Raj
a
Champagne.
small profile when you first see the building. The 4 stories doesn't start till it goes about 26 feet from the rear. But on the second floor, above the first floor, in the projection, we have an outdoor terrace. About 2/3 of that terrace is covered with the roof that you see, that horizontal projected roof. On the portion that's not covered, we'll have a couple of fire pits up there, and it will be a great place for folks to go hang out, have a drink, or socialize. And they can go from their restaurant down to that restaurant down below on the first floor. Take food with us, I suppose, if they like.
Very strong supporters.
First floor, right on Main Street, with big glass windows, is the bistro, bar, and restaurant. So the presentation to the street architect for the project, a couple months ago, we made a lot of changes, just to remind everybody that the front of the building, anything like that. The entry facade is on the street, on the part of the street. There is a main street, so this building is not set back in any way. Literally touch the sidewalk, right in line. Just to the right of the building, on the sidewalk, portion of the building slightly set back is a patio. Patio has a short brick wall around small to provide some personal privacy and separation. The 4 stories doesn't start until it gets past 26 feet, so there'll be plenty of view. On the second floor and right in the first floor, the projection we have an outside terrace, softened. About 2/3 of that terrace is covered with the roof that you see, fairly large on projected steel trellis, steel on the portion that's not covered will have a couple of fire pits outside shade, and it will be a great place for folks outside hang out, inside drink, shade lines, hence the extra restaurant down below terrace on the second floor. Also on each side of that terrace, first floor, right on Main Street, are some big glass windows. Is the bistro, bar, and restaurant, color bronze, the trellis pre-bronze, the mystery bronze, everything on the building is bronze, except for the gatherings ago. Since our last meeting, you see that we have integrated a lot of presence on the street, the structured part of the street base of the building. The entire first floor and out Main Street anyway. The right side, some brick on the front, right at the middle of just to the right of the building, far side, building slightly set back is a brick on both sides. The patio has the brick, the stone brick that you see down that I'm displaying for you. The stone direct 4 story building start until it is probably the stone that we're going to have. Or even I say probably the second floor. It'll be either this one or this one over here on my outside terrace. It's more of a cream color. About 2/3 of we looked at 4 different color samples. Steel trellis down these 2 portion that's not covered. We'll have a fire outside shade. And it will be a great place for folks outside hang out. It appears to me for some shade lines. Hence the extra restaurant down below terrace on the second floor. John made a comment about also on each side of their first floor gas line streets left and right. Big loud entry is the bistro, not so much for light color bronze or bronze, everything. The overhangs on Main Street, the windows. Since our meeting that you see that says canopy integrated a lot of the structure in the street on the side of the street. The entire first floor and parking lot lighting, we haven't really gotten to yet, so we're based on John's suggestion. Just to the right of the building, parking lot light on side of the building, slightly set back is a brick on both sides. As far as we didn't address this brick that we showed for the dumpster that I explained for you. Probably the stone that we're going to have, or even brick. When I say block, I mean structural. Either this one or this one over here. Faced with bricks. We lived in 4 big blocks. Color sample. Costly from there to down there. There's 2 portions that's not covered. By the way, these are actual signs outside. They're shades. There's a stage line, a little bit of stone. Hence the extra footlights. Terrace. So they're large. John made a comment about also on each side of their first floor gas lines are left and right. The building, by the way, is bistro, not so much for light color bronze or bronze overhangs. 4 stories on Main Street. Window 4 stories. Since our canopy, we're 55 feet at the on the right side of the building. Structure streetlights on the side. Projected area is high. That's the parking lot lighting. We haven't really gotten to yet. So bring us through major suggestion. Just to the right of the building, parking lot light on side that matches. Likes to create the visual interest in the trying. We didn't address this brick that we showed for a dumpster. Probably the stone that we're going to have added the other surrounding structures. Either this one or this one over here. Faced with brick. We lived in 4 big blocks. Scale. Costly from there to those 2 portions not covered. So that's as far as different we discuss the building and what we showed you. You have questions on them. The extra footlights. So they're large. John made a comment about.
I don't have any questions per se, but unfortunately I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, and I was able to read through all the minutes. It seems like you addressed everything that was mentioned in the last meeting.
on Main Street.
Shorten the breakdown to the third floor. It's one of the big things was you want it to visually look as tall. You added that canopy facing out towards the podium. You changed the arms on the front, I think, to kind of make it more cohesive with the style that's on Main Street. And then you changed the color in the back as well to make it look nice and deep. So those were kind of the primary concerns I saw from the minutes that I read. It looks like y'all addressed all of those, so I just want to commend you on taking the time and addressing each of those issues.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you pointing that out. I did fail to mention that the fourth floor is not masonry, it's stucco. The intention is for it to have the same exact color as stone, so that it blends and appears to be, from a distance, appears to be the same material. The portion of the drive-through canopy, though, as you can see, it's 4 stars in brick, and it's in order to place emphasis on the entrance, on that entrance. Of course,
I don't have any questions per se, but unfortunately I wasn't able to attend the last meeting. I was able to read through all the minutes.
But yes,
It seems like y'all, you addressed everything that was mentioned in the last meeting. You shortened the breakdown to the third floor. It's one of the big things was you want it to visually look as tall. You added that canopy facing out towards the podium. You changed the arms on the front, I think, to kind of make it more cohesive with the style that's on Main Street. And then you changed the color in the back as well to make it look nice and deep. So those were kind of the primary concerns I saw from the minutes that I read. It looks like y'all addressed all of those, so I just want to commend you on taking the time and addressing each of those issues.
well, thank you very much. I appreciate you pointing that out. I did fail to mention that the fourth floor is not masonry, it's stucco. The intention is for it to have the same exact color as stone, so that it blends and appears to be, from a distance, appears to be the same material. The portion of the drive-through canopy, though, as you can see, it's 4 stars in brick, and it's in order to place emphasis on the entrance, on that entrance. Of course,
I don't have any questions per se, but unfortunately I wasn't able to attend the last meeting. I was able to read through all the minutes.
But yes,
It seems like y'all, you addressed everything that was mentioned in the last meeting. You shortened the breakdown to the third floor. It's one of the big things was you want it to visually look as tall. You added that canopy facing out towards the podium. You changed the arms on the front, I think, to kind of make it more cohesive with the style that's on Main
as
Street.
John mentioned earlier, there are some larger buildings in the historic district.
In the back as well to make it look nice and deep. So those were kind of the primary concerns I saw from the minutes that I read. It looks like y'all addressed all of those, so I just want to commend you on taking the time and addressing each of those issues.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you bringing that out. I did fail to mention that the fourth floor is not masonry, it's stucco. The intention is for it to have the same exact color as stone.
I'm a little curious if we have comments
From
on
a
those
distance,
together.
appears to be the same material. The
are other
portion of
folks
the
here that
drive-through canopy, though, as you can see, it's 4 stars in brick, and it's in order to place emphasis on the entrance, on that entrance. Of course,
I don't have any questions per se, but unfortunately I wasn't able to attend the last
My name is Matt O'Hara,
I was able to read
and I
through all the
am one of the owners and general manager of the O'Hara's Public House and the O'Hara's Bakery Cafe. I came today to speak in favor of the hotel project. My group in 2019 bought what was then the Haven Coffee House. One of the reasons that we were excited about that location and that business as a complement to our others was that there was this hotel that was going to be built across the street, and that has not yet happened. Between the two locations that I manage, we have about 100 employees, a little over 100 employees. Last year, those 100 employees collectively made $2.4 million for an average of $24,000, and they're not all full-time employees, but I will just say that I represent a group of about 100 people who would love to see this hotel come to downtown Main Street. When we opened up O'Hara's Public House, there were a handful of restaurants. There's a handful more and more coming, and the promise of that many people each night on Main Street is, it's very exciting from our perspective. We're really looking forward to seeing the project come to fruition. And I would just say that my family likes to go downtown. There's a beautiful property that Raj has down there that we go to the restaurant that's down there. The property's great. The people are wonderful. When I've got people in town, we send them to the Holiday Inn. So I feel good about, and I know that we've got the right person coming in to do this. And I just wanted to come down and say that as a merchant on Main Street and somebody who represents an awful lot of people who work there, we would love to see this thing happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we'll need, anybody that wants to speak, need to,
I'm actually putting a new POS system in my restaurant right now. So, yeah, everything Matt said, and I was actually here a few years before.
I'm sorry, your name, sir?
Brian Nelson. I own Keg Cowboy right across the street. So it'll be 11 years this August that the kitchen was in. 12 years ago that we moved in. My business partner actually walked in there 14 years ago and did some things. Yeah, we've been waiting for this for 7 years. Kind of same things that happened with the amphitheater 7 years ago. There was a lot of people that thought that was going to fail. That's been one of the best things that's been done. The only thing that hotel is going to do is add to everything else that's going on down here. Everything else that everybody's worked hard for. The early design issues, but that looks great. Looks like the rest of Main Street. I don't see why there would be any reason whatsoever why this shouldn't happen. That's all I got.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Robbie Wilkins, one of the owners of the Ice House building in the amphitheater. We're excited to see the changes and where we've ended up here. Very much in support of the hotel. It's going to be an anchor in the center of the hotel, downtown, and very appropriately designed. So we're very much here in full support.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Thank you, Robbie.
Good afternoon. I'm Carl Blackstone. I'm with the Greater Columbia Chamber of Commerce and just wanted to echo the comments before. I think this is a great addition to downtown Lexington. The amount of benefit you just can't calculate right now on not just from a tax revenue standpoint, but the quality of life issues that the hotel brings to downtown Main Street. So I think it looks great. But more importantly, you got a hotel operator that cares about his community, very active with us as well as the Lexington Chamber. So thrilled for them to have this opportunity and appreciate y'all's support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Ellen. I'm the president and CEO of Columbia Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Columbia Convention Center for the last 10 years. And prior to that, I was in the hotel business for 30 years. Over the last 10 years, I've had many opportunities to work with these gentlemen. I've known Raj and AJ and Steve for more than 20 years. In my current job, there are many opportunities to work with their other hotels to provide accommodations for visitors, conference attendees, and people coming in to our communities and to our region. And I will say that you couldn't have a finer group of developers and operators of a hotel than this group. They're always very professional to work with. They're extremely ethical and honest. Anytime we need something, they communicate, they listen, they work with us. I work with some hotels that are only interested in making money for that particular hotel, don't care about the big picture. These gentlemen do care about the community and the big picture, and they show it every day the way they work with you, and they make decisions with that in mind, that how does it affect the big picture in the community. And every experience I've had working with them, that's how they've operated. And when visitors and guests come in to stay in this hotel, their goal is to make those guests leave with a very positive experience. And that is a reflection on your community. You want people leaving with a positive experience and wanting to come back. And these gentlemen will do that. I've seen them do it over and over. I think it's a very quality product. First drawing that I've seen, but I'd be very proud if I were lived in the community to have that project on Main Street. And I think it will do nothing but just, bring in and emphasize more with the good things you've got going on. I live downtown Columbia, but I come out here to eat at restaurants, and I think it will only add to that and make more people want to come here, spend money, and I know these guys will do it the right way. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Dale Miller, and we own the property to the right of this hotel that we'd like to see built, and we think it'd be good for, obviously, the property next door to the hotel and our facility, but also it'd add value to the local businesses that are, around here too. So I'm in favor.
Thank you.
My name is Kenny Workman. I'm with Sornex Exercise Equipment. We're also members of the Chamber of Commerce here in Lexington. We bring through about 1,500 people through our facility a year. They usually stay the night. We're always looking for accommodations for them and things to do, and we'd love to send them and keep them in downtown Lexington in our local community. Being a part of the Chamber of Commerce, we also feel and I get to meet a lot of other business owners, and I feel like there's plenty of other businesses that feel the same way. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Trey Powell. I'm a business owner, a couple different businesses here in Lexington County. One of those businesses, Mosquito Joe, was started right here in downtown. We outgrew that space and had to move out by the dam, but I remember driving past it every day, and there's a big hole in the middle of downtown. We've got a lot of wonderful restaurants. It's a great place to bring people when we have visitors from out of town and executives that come to meet. Love to have them in downtown and see some of the great restaurants, but there's no place for them to stay right downtown within walking distance, and this would be a great added thing to our town and our community and really fill that hole as well. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brett Sally with the Sally Law Firm. We own 129 East Main Street, which is almost directly across from Bodie and very close to this project. We're all in favor of this project. We think would add a lot of value to downtown Lexington. Lexington has a lot to offer. Amphitheater, things you're doing right. You take pride in how things look. Exterior, what you're doing here is doing it the right way, and that's why people are drawn to Lexington. I think this can do nothing but add to people wanting to gather here as a place for just more entertainment in terms of restaurants and just creates a synergy. I think that's what you want to do, is drive people in that want to come to Lexington as a destination, and that's what you're creating here. I think it's going to be nothing but good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Angele Laborde. I'm the president of the Lexington Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center, and I'm also a resident of the town of Lexington. I spend a lot of time downtown. I am so excited about this potential project. I really believe that it will add a vibrancy to our already vibrant downtown. And when I speak to business owners, one of the things that I hear them speak about, similar to what Kenny at Sornex said, is that we want amenities. We'd like restaurants, we'd like some meeting space, we'd like some lodging, and we want it convenient to where all the action is. And the action's downtown, where there are entertainment options and so forth. So our businesses are looking for something more, and I think this project would bring something more to the area. Our chamber is pleased to serve as the official destination marketing organization for the town of Lexington, which is basically our visitor center. And so we see residents and folks moving here all the time. And when they have guests and family members that are visiting, they want a convenient place to locate. And again, they want to bring them to downtown where all the action is. So I think we're providing a service not only for our residents, but also for our businesses. And again, the social spaces are important, the restaurants, the function space. Many of our businesses want a place to gather and hold corporate events, and this would solve a need that we have. So on behalf of the Chamber, I hope that you will seriously consider moving this project forward. It truly can be a game changer for the town of Lexington. Thank you.
Thanks.
Quick note, she brought up meeting space. There is a meeting room in this hotel. It's not large. It's 40, 50 people, but it's available to the folks who stay at the hotel, but also can be rented out or used by the local community right on Main Street. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, did we have to sign up to speak? Because I didn't sign up. Sign in, I can do that. As John's already introduced me, I'm the former mayor here in Lexington and also former head of the Chamber of Commerce. When I was mayor, we envisioned this part of the vision plan. The vision plan really initiated all the economic development activity downtown and all the people that are coming downtown now. But this is the missing link. This is kind of you might say, the anchor for downtown to almost complete what we envisioned many years ago as the town of Lexington's vision plan. So I see absolutely no reason why you should not approve what I see there. So I just want to speak and say support it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening. There was a lot of really well-credentialed, wonderful, hardworking people who've spoken, and they're right. There's been a lot of chatter about a hotel for years. I thought the chatter was about like a boutique hotel, and I happen to have family that works in that industry, and a boutique hotel is a phenomenal concept. Just to recap a little bit, because there's a lot more people here than there was last time, and for the benefit of anyone who might not have been here, here are some of the quotes that I heard at the last meeting about this project 2 months ago. I heard that the mass of the building dominates. I heard it was a massing issue and a coloring issue. Quote, we don't want an interstate hotel downtown. That it dominates the neighbors. Somebody else on the board said, the manual only has teeth if we use it. And this is a lot of mass in that particular section. And then all three members who were here last time did not approve the project as submitted. And there's absolutely been a huge change in the outward appearance of it, the color scheming, some really phenomenal, really nice details. But there's a standard in the appearance design manual, in case anybody doesn't know, and it's standard guideline 2, I think is what it's called, SG2. And there's even like a picture of it. And it talks about you can't have things that dominate adjacently, and adjacently is right next door. They're things that share property lines, that share boundaries. And obviously this is a lot larger. And the plan from last time and the plan this time, I think are both 67,000 square feet. Is that correct? Okay, so it's the same size. That's what I thought, even though it does look phenomenal. It really does. I've heard wonderful things about the Holiday Inn Express. I've never stayed there because I live nearby, obviously, but I've heard wonderful things about the people behind this project, and it's nothing personal to them, but you know as a member of the board that you're tasked to fulfill a state law. And that law leaves you very specific parameters to operate by, and you're trained on that. You're given yearly training on that as well. And if the town has issued design standards in their manual, then they're right. What good is a manual if it's not used? And you know, you've been here a long time, you know that the town has done wonderful things for families. I appreciate that. Wonderful things to bring more cohesiveness to town. And it looks cleaner, it looks nicer. It's a really nice place to be. And a lot of that has to do with the standards that the town has set for their limits. And I appreciate that work very much. So as you know, it's Title VI, I think Chapter 29, Section 800. You can, if there was an error at the staffing level, it doesn't appear that this is what it is. That's not what's alleged at this hearing. And of course, everybody has a right to a hearing, obviously. But you can grant a variance for unnecessary hardship. That's not what was alleged. You can, and it needs to be like extraordinary or exceptional conditions to the property that generally don't apply to other property in the vicinity that would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the utilization of the project. Or if the character of the district would not be harmed by granting the variance. It specifically says in state statute that a fact that a property may be utilized more profitably if the variance is granted may not be considered grounds for a variance. And that's a key here because last time somebody from the hotel mentioned that if they were to reduce the number of rooms, I think it's 111 last time and this time, that if they were to reduce the number of rooms, it wouldn't be feasible financially for the business. And I love this concept. This would have been phenomenal. I mean, in a lot of places all over town. I mean, I can think of the old Kmart Center, which is near the ball fields. It's too late now, but there's soccer fields and ball fields there and things like that. There's absolutely a need for more hotel spaces as we've grown. The question is whether or not this is appropriate within the town's guidelines for this area that is being proposed. The other thing that state law allows you to approve a project when it doesn't meet the standards is for special exemption that's subject to the terms and conditions set in the zoning ordinance, or you can issue a remand as a matter that is insufficient for review. And I know you know that, but that might be helpful to everybody else who's here, is that it's not whether or not necessarily you like the concept of a hotel or this hotel or the people doing it, because all those things are true and everybody wants those things. The question is whether or not the law is followed if the town wants to hold any weight with their design standards that they have worked really hard on and done an incredible job of making this town a really great place to be, especially as evidenced with all the people that keep coming. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, I mean, I was intrigued with the comments, pro and con. The word that I thought, the synergy was an important word for what this could create downtown. But I was here last month when we voted this project down appropriately at the time because of what was submitted. It was a work in progress, and I like what has been done to it. I've been to the site a bunch since then. I've looked at this submission carefully. It's the second sentence in SG2 that I think is important because it is, the guidelines do matter to us, and the ensuring a building doesn't dominate its surroundings is part of that criteria. But the second sentence says we use architectural form and detailing to reduce the appearance or the mass of the structure. It gives instructions on how you do that with a bigger building. Downtown Lexington needs bigger buildings and synergy, and that's going to be hard to do. So it's important we pause and do it really carefully because this is a really important moment. And so it talks about while height limits are established by zoning, not us, design of upper areas of taller structures to minimize visual appearance. It's giving us instructions on how to meet SG2. And I think that's what these guys have done well this past month, is they've gone back and taken the first draft of a submission and refined that submission to give us more teeth to make it appropriate for downtown. SG3, which is right behind it, talks about how you handle scale on a building to be appropriate with what's next to it. And I think the idea they pushed it back off the street. There was several reference to other taller buildings that actually sit right on the street. I appreciate the work these guys have done to sit the building back off to create an appropriate streetscape. You gave reference to the details, the material change. I really think it was important. We have a brick building that's 3 stories tall with a brick that looks and feels like us, and a color palette that looks and feels like us. So I think what we did last month or last time we met was appropriate in saying it wasn't ready yet. But I think it's the second part of SG2 that talks about how do you handle buildings that are bigger. It is through architectural form, detailing materials, and that sort of thing. So I think we have had a nice response to the critique that this board offered.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I underlined the exact same sentence and use architectural form and detailing to reduce the appearance. And I feel like that's exactly what was done in this situation. So I agree with that 100%.
I don't have anything to add. I agree with the comments. These are very appropriate, and the changes, as I mentioned earlier, that you made from the last meeting to this meeting show that you listened and you found a way to make this work in our downtown and meet the appearance standards.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the project.
I second. All in favor? All right. You did it. Thank you. Yes, you are. Thank you, Craig.
Coming back to get this.
Okay.
All right. We've still got one more.
You might add that our meeting's not over yet, so they
Ask John.
Yeah.
sit quietly.
Just to note, the meeting's not over, but
It is for them.
You need to say it again, Larry, and louder. Okay.
Quick question.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Excuse me, we're going to take a 5-minute recess while the room clears out. We have one more item on the agenda.
I've had a gavel a few times, but not tonight.
We were ready tonight, though. We were ready tonight.
No.
All right.
This should be quick.
Yep. Yes, it should.
I don't know.
Business number two, new business number two, with the review of the facade grant application for 101 East Main Street.
And I'm going to recuse myself from this one.
John, you want to?
Yes, sir. KCR Properties has submitted a facade grant application for improvements to a building being renovated at 101 East Main Street. Once complete, the basement floor will be used for service and office space. And you have the application in your packet and some renderings and photographs.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? I mean, personally, I think this meets what our facade grant applications, and it'll be a wonderful addition.
Are there any cost guidelines that restrict what we can do on investment that they're making that trigger our investment?
Minimum of $25,000.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
In the facade or the whole project?
The whole project.
That's what I thought. That's what I was looking for.
But the grant can only be applied to.
Understand, but we're looking for a project cost that exceeds $25,000 in total, and the facade grant money is only used for the
That's correct.
facade. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
It meets our criteria.
Right, yeah, this is anticipated total cost of $200,000 to $250,000, so. Any
I move to approve.
All right, all in favor?
Your second.
All right.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Trying to help.
All right. We're united and approved. So, with that said, I guess I'll call for close the meeting.
I make a motion to close.
Can you do that?
Second.
Second, all right. Let's vote.
I'm in favor.
In favor, all right. Thank you. Not much on this.